This video is brought to you by Haven House Recovery Center. Tips for staying sober during COVID-19. Recovering from alcohol addiction is not an easy task. It requires a considerable amount of time and a lot of physical, mental, and emotional support from your loved ones. Even after addiction treatment, it is still a continuous process for most. The challenge for those who undergo addiction treatment is knowing how to stay sober once they reintegrate into society. That is because staying sober while dealing with the harsh realities that life has to offer can be difficult for people who have previously turned to alcohol as a means of coping with stress and anxiety. This has become even tougher at this point in time because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Admittedly, the pandemic has made life physically and mentally harder for all of us. However, this is truer for those who are in recovery from alcohol addiction. The key to staying sober is to adapt to the change that we are experiencing in the world. Treat the current situation not as a hindrance to your continued recovery, but as a means for you to forge a deeper connection with yourself. Use the lockdown as a time for rest, healing, and self-reflection. Find your inner peace and commit to developing yourself and making yourself stronger during this pandemic. If you are recovering, you have to teach yourself how to stay sober during this pandemic, since most activities permitted before cannot be done due to existing lockdown conditions. You have to think about activities you can do at home that will help you in staying sober. Here are some tips for staying sober during the COVID-19 pandemic. Tips to help while staying sober. 1. Structure your day. Having an organized plan for your day can really help you stay productive. Plan out what time you should wake up and what time you should sleep. Schedule activities that you need to do for the day, such as cleaning your room, washing your clothes, or cooking. Creating an everyday routine that best fits your personality will help bring you a sense of normalcy in this time of uncertainty. 2. Don't forget to practice self-care. Even though we are in the midst of a pandemic, you should not sacrifice your physical and mental well-being. Remember to eat well and exercise regularly. You could also do simple things that can help you feel better, such as stepping out of the house to get some sun or going to your garden to drink some coffee. Whatever activity it may be sure to do something that can strengthen you both physically and mentally. 3. Avoid constantly watching the news. While knowing what is happening around you is important, don't overdo it. If it isn't urgent, try to avoid the news as much as possible because it may cause you to feel negativity, fear, and anxiety. Instead, implement the safety guidelines that the government prescribes in your home or workplace to make yourself feel safe and secure, and pick just one time of day to check for updates. 4. Stay connected with the people you love. While we have all been urged to maintain physical distance to curb the spread of the virus, this does not mean disconnecting ourselves from the people that are important to us. Now more than ever, we need to look out and care for each other. Through technology, you can see your family and friends and speak with them whenever you like. As such, try committing to calling at least 3 people a day. This should provide you with mental and emotional support, all of which are much needed when staying sober. 5. Learn something new. This pandemic has gifted us the time we could have only wished we had before. Use it wisely by trying to learn something new. Enroll in an online course or start working on craft projects. Whatever it may be, this is a good way to keep you motivated and to give you a sense of accomplishment. Staying sober during a pandemic is twice as hard as it might be normally, but it is not impossible. All that you need is the proper mindset and the right support. At Haven House Recovery Center, a Christ-based recovery center, we are committed to providing the physical, emotional, and spiritual support to help those recovering from alcohol addiction, including staying sober. Come visit us to learn how we can help you during this difficult time. If you are considering a drug rehab in Nashville, you may want to check Haven House in Hartsville too. Call us now at 850-622-3774.